You wrote Saturday on the damn thing. Okay? You wrote Saturday. It's Sunday night. Anyway, Adam, this Sunday,
Yeah.
AEW Double or Nothing, you'll be competing in an unsanctioned match.
That's wrestling.
It is Rasslin, and there is no company, in my opinion, that does pay-per-view wrestling as consistently well as All Elite Wrestling. Since they started in October of 2019, I can't remember them putting, and they do 4 or 5 shows a year now, I can't remember them putting a bad product on pay-per-view. This week, we got another installment. It is Double or Nothing, and I believe, unless I'm just stupid, for the first time in over a year, or at least almost a year, we will have on pay-per-view Adam Cole. And Adam Cole is joining us right now. I think I have the timeline right. It was in the middle of last summer, the last time we saw you have one of these big pay-per-view matches, correct?
Yeah, you are correct. So actually, my first injury occurred at Double or Nothing last year.
Okay.
And then a month later at Forbidden Door, that was my last pay-per-view I did with AEW. So this Sunday, Double or Nothing, it's going to be pretty sweet. I'm excited to get back on pay-per-view with AEW. Like you said, no one does it like them.
So you have been doing the, of course, the weekly Dynamites, Rampage. You've been doing the weekly circuit and all that, but this is the first major marquee event we've seen you at in a while, and you obviously have a big time match. Before I get to that match, I have to ask you a question because this came out of left field. Sabu?
Oh my God!
The hell did that come from?
How incredible! Hey, listen, I think over time, and this is pretty wild to really think about, but again, when I was younger, watching ECW, Sabu, obviously, like many others, was one of my absolute favorites. And it's so weird to think as time goes on, because again, Sabu is a student of the game. He's someone who's been around for a long time.
Right.
So the fact that I have his respect enough for him to help me with the JAS is pretty damn cool.
I mean, how when did you know this was coming about? Because like you could have. I was sitting there last night, and it was clear you were leading up to a surprise. But you could have given me 1,000 guesses as to who was coming out there to help you, and I would have not come up with Sabu.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely kind of a last-minute decision, especially looking at, it's great to have Roderick Strong there.
Yeah.
But again, this match Sunday is unsanctioned, and we know for a fact that the JAS is going to be involved. So I took a shot in the dark. I talked to a friend of a friend, reached out to Sabu. And again, there's nobody crazier or more prepared for an unsanctioned match situation than Sabu. So all came together last minute, man.
I feel like his entire life has been unsanctioned. But let me ask you this. Homicidal and suicidal I can be okay with, but don't you think it's kind of problematic to be hanging around with somebody who's genocidal?
It is a little bit scary to really think about it, but I'm desperate, my friend.
Okay.
I am desperate. I know what I'm up against, so we'll see what happens. We might all be in trouble, but we'll see.
I think if you throw the names Adam Cole and Chris Jericho on the marquee, people know what they're getting, and they're going to get a high-quality professional wrestling match between two of the best. But this is a different animal from that. This is not going to be your classic catch-as-catch-can thing, right? This is going to be something different. Go into that for me a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the epitome of a fight. Again, talking about growing up and watching Sabu, Chris Jericho was a guy that I grew up and literally idolized. Like he was one of my favorites growing up. I remember reading his first book, A Lion's Tale, and him talking about how he traveled, all through Mexico and Europe and Japan and all through the States, and being like, that's the type of wrestler I want to be. So I had dreamed and fantasized about getting the chance to wrestle Chris Jericho. But unfortunately, it's turned super, super personal. It's definitely not what I wanted, but this is on him as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, Sunday is not going to be a wrestling match. Sunday is going to be a fight.
So how do you go into something like that? Like, I mean, you've had a lot of wrestling matches in your career. How do you plan for something that you know is going to be pretty rough? I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, you say Chris Jericho, but the JAS, there's going to be 5 of those guys. Like, this is going to be something that could go, and I know there's another big match called Anarchy in the Arena, but this is something that could go anywhere at any time. This is going to be crazy.
Right. Like, again, on paper, it's impossible to prepare for something like this. And it's also, I think, really, really important. And it's been literally impossible for me. But in this scenario, I'm going to let my emotions run high. I'm literally going to try to tear them apart. And if and when the JAS gets involved, I know who has my back and I know who's going to be there for me. So as long as I get my hands on Chris Jericho, there's no strategy, there's no plan. It's me trying to rip apart Chris Jericho.
I assume this version of Chris Jericho that is taking part in this match with you right now is your least favorite version of Chris Jericho based on what's happened over the last few weeks. Before all that happened, what was your favorite version of Chris Jericho? Was the one you grew up idolizing?
Oh man, God, I loved Chris Jericho in WCW for sure.
1998 Jericho was something.
Yeah. But I really do think, gosh, there were so many eras of him that I enjoyed. I loved when he first got to the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the first ever undisputed champion, Chris Jericho. I loved the change up in his presentation when he would come out wearing the suits and being super, super serious.
Yeah.
Like when he was, fighting Shawn Michaels and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's really, really tough to pick one specific favorite because, again, I really did enjoy all those eras of Jericho.
Now, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, that's still going on? Is that pretty serious?
Incredibly serious. Incredibly serious.
Okay, all right. I'd heard otherwise. You
Yeah.
you lied to me, producer. No, I think when you said it got personal, of course, y'all had that dramatic scene a couple of weeks ago. I think it was in Pittsburgh when you were handcuffed to the ropes.
Yeah.
And we learned that Jericho and crew will go to pretty sadistic levels, and we also learned that Daniel Garcia doesn't know how handcuffs work. But when that happened, man. When that happened, how that really took this from a two wrestlers, I guess maybe jostling for respect into what?
Yeah, well, especially because it felt like it went from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
I got it in the beginning. I finally got the chance to make my return after 9 months of being away and being gone, beating Danny Garcia, Britt being out there, streamers coming down, and at the end, Jericho coming out and helping Danny to the back and walking to the back. And I knew that already felt super strange and weird. So I wanted to make sure and give him a receipt and do the same thing when he wrestled Keith Lee. And then I genuinely thought, okay, we're just going to prove to each other who the better wrestler is. I'm going to really test myself against one of the all-time greats. And then he took it to that place and that level that no one in my entire career has ever done anything like that before. So, yeah, it was one of the worst nights of my career, for sure.
How much have you enjoyed having Roddy back around?
Oh, my God. I could not be happier. Again, this guy genuinely is one of my absolute best friends, a guy that I've traveled up and down the roads with, whether it be Ring of Honor, PWG, obviously NXT as well. He's one of the best in-ring performers in the world, in my opinion. So the fact that not only I get the chance to spend more time with him and be around him because he's such a good friend, but he's such a massive asset to any wrestling company that has him. So AEW won big on that one.
Whenever I talk to wrestlers, in front of the cameras or behind the scenes, I hear a lot about Adam Cole. Adam Cole is a genuine guy, a nice guy. Adam Cole is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. What do you think about that?
It's aside from it being incredibly humbling and very, very nice to hear. Like when I think of, I really, really thought about this when I was going through my injury and I was thinking that maybe I'm not going to have the chance to come back. Like, of course, you want to leave a legacy of having an incredible career, like, winning world championships, traveling the globe, getting to wrestle on television. And those are all things that I absolutely still want to continue to achieve. But when I think of a legacy, there's no better one to have than people respecting who you are as a person, whether it be the audience or your peers and the people that you work with. It means the world to me. It's really, really nice to hear that.
I agree.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I agree 100% because I look around. People think I am a piece of shit. That I am.
Oh, come on now!
Huge
no
asshole.
Way.
And I was like, I wish people looked at me the way they look at Adam Cole. But then I was like, I actually enjoy being a piece of shit sometimes. So being a piece of shit is a lot more freeing. I mean, look how much
Right.
fun Jericho's having. He's a piece of shit, and he's just running around having fun with his buddies.
Hey, to be fair, for over 10 years, I was a real piece of
You're a
garbage as well.
tremendous piece of garbage.
So I mean, I guess I got that out, and then when the bell in between, like during the bell and all that stuff during matches, that's when I got all my aggression and anger out, and then I tried to be nice to everybody after that. But
So
yeah,
I know you've probably talked about this at length, and I do want to ask you about it. If you want to shut it down, that's fine. But you were out for 9 months, and
yeah,
we saw on AEW All Access kind of the painful path you were traversing there with Britt by your side and everything like that. And I know you've said these words. You've said, "I didn't know if I was going to be able to come back." The question based on that premise is, was there ever a moment in those 9 months where you got close to saying, actually, I am going to go ahead and shut it down. I am going to go ahead and step out that door. I am going to hang them up. Did you ever get close to doing that?
no, no, I was so I mean, I was afraid that I was going to be told
Yeah.
I couldn't come back for sure. That existed for months, but there was never even a small part of me that was like, okay, I think I am going to hang it up. I was
Okay.
so focused and so determined on trying to come back, because again, this is my entire life since I was 9 years old. This is all I ever wanted to do. And again, the toughest thing was having doctors look at you with like this discouraged, like,
Right.
we don't know how this is going to go. But again, I talked about it on the show, but Britt was incredibly helpful. My family was incredibly helpful. My friends. So I tried to keep as much of an optimistic attitude as I could, but it was a rough road. But again, long-winded way of saying no. I was so focused on trying to come back for sure.
So you were prepared. You were going to accept if somebody told you that you couldn't go any further, but you were never going to make that decision. That was going to have to come from doctors.
Yes, I was going to have to be told,
Yeah.
listen, you can't do this. You're risking a huge portion of your quality of life, or you can't get back in the ring. It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
If I was told that, that would be a different pill to swallow, and I would have dealt with that as it came. But no way no way I was going to go, I think I'm going to stop.
Could you briefly
So,
just do the discouraged doctor face again? Because I thought that was a funny face you made.
oh,
Eh.
wait, I'll do it. Wait, let me.
Discouraged doctor. There it is. Yeah, okay. It ain't looking too good, Adam. Ain't looking. So you've been back since March.
Yeah.
Do you love it more now, or have you discovered you just found the same love you had before?
Yeah, that was the interesting thing, is like, I don't feel like I've ever lost an appreciation for the job,
Yeah.
but you can't help but appreciate it more when you're gone and you think you might not be able to do it again, and then you get to come back. So I think there is like a whole new appreciation for the job. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I never tried to lose sight of it. But I do think it since it feels so fresh in my mind now, I do feel like I have a different appreciation for it. Yeah, for sure.
Your apartment is decorated like a hotel room. I just want to tell you that. I just want to point
Yes,
that out there.
it may or may not be a hotel room.
Yeah.
So I'll let you figure that out.
Well, with Dynamite being in Vegas and the pay-per-view being in Vegas, I think we can put two and two together. I want to go through through a couple things that maybe aren't as wrestling related right now, and then we're going to get into the pay-per-view. I know you got to go because I don't know why I said that. Who cares? Anyway.
Oh, no worries. I always got time for you, my friend. Always got time.
What's my first
worries.
and last name?
Brandon Walker.
I'll be damned. You told me he didn't know
kidding
who
me?
I was. You told me.
Kidding me?
You told me Matt Cardona was better than him. No.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
Hey, Adam, did you see last week? Did you see he was on my show? Did you see his tan? Because it was rough.
It was rough.
Well, I got 2 tans yesterday.
You are very tan.
Usually I get 3 tans, but I was
time. Pause. What? 3 tans?
well, you tan the bed, right?
Got it.
That's 1.
Triple
Yeah.
it.
Then you get the spray tan,
Sure.
2, but then you get another spray, so that's 3. But yesterday I didn't lay down. I just did the 2 sprays.
It looked like
What?
he was a baked potato. He was he did 3 spray tans in a row.
No. Cardona has like the top of the line, like the most excellent spray tan you could possibly imagine, and real tan. He's just incredibly tan,
Yeah,
incredibly tan guy.
incredibly.
I love it.
He looks like a fucking purse. I'm sorry, I shouldn't cuss. Okay. So right now, because I know you have other passions, what's your favorite video game? What video game you playing right now?
Oh, so currently I dove into Tears of the Kingdom, the new Legend of Zelda game,
Sure.
which is kind of taken over the world. But that one, unfortunately, I've been so busy, so I've had such little time to play it. But I have put a few hours into the game, and I totally get why everyone's raving about it. It's just like so. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild
Yeah.
was regarded by many people as like the greatest video game of all time, and now
Sure.
Tears of the Kingdom came out. Expectations through the roof. The pressure that team must have felt probably was pretty rough. And they knocked it out of the park. It's so good. Such an awesome game.
In my life, and I'm older than you, I've gotten into one Zelda game. I got into A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo back in like 93, 94, and that was great. But I never did Ocarina of Time or anything on 64. Ooh. I never did any Breath of the Wild. So I have kids now. We have a Switch, so I'm possibly going to dive into this one. I just know diving into something like this it's a commitment, man. It's a commitment.
It is, man. Like it's like easily in a game like this, you could put 150 hours into it, like without question.
I haven't put
it's a lot.
I haven't put 150 hours into anything in my life. and I can't think of anything I've given 100 sleep maybe over the last 7 days, but other than that,
there you go.
I don't think 150 hours is crazy. Maybe eating.
Man, it is, but it's worth it. What a journey to go on. It's amazing.
Journey. Okay. All right.
It's amazing.
Any other games that you want to shout out?
Oh man, there's so many good ones. Like Star Wars Jedi Survivor is another really good game that came out. Resident Evil 4 remake. I love the Resident Evil franchise.
Do you just like all genres?
I really do like most genres. Like I can't think of. You know what's interesting is generally speaking. And here's the thing: to answer your question, yes, I do like all genres. Playing video games are fun. I don't care what game it is; it's a blast to me. But I'd say the genre I play the least are like sports games, which is such a popular thing.
Yeah, that's all
for so
I
many
play.
people who don't. Like Madden and FIFA and NHL, which again they're fun, but generally I play those like fictional story games that are action packed. With awesome voice acting, all that stuff.
Are there any other video games coming out soon you might want to shout out?
Yeah. So Final Fantasy 16 looks incredible.
Yes.
Looks so good.
Yeah.
Also, at the end of the year, FF7 Rebirth is going to be awesome. Final Fantasy 7 is my favorite Final Fantasy. And then there's this indie game that's coming out. It got delayed. But there's this indie game called Hollow Knight that came out years ago. Yeah. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. Three people made this game, and it's like a polished, absolutely incredible title. So there's a sequel coming out called Silk Song at some point this year that I'm really amped for.
Well, Tony, I tried. I tried and just couldn't quite get there.
Of course I'm excited for Fight Forever. Of course I'm excited for Fight Forever. Whew. Are you kidding? I thought that goes without saying.
I thought I was off the payroll for a second. I thought I was off the dime. I thought me and Trevor Lawrence weren't going to be coworkers anymore.
Dude, I won't say much because I know I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
But all I can say is I promise people are going to love this game. Absolutely love this game. It is so good. It's going to be a blast.
Tell me the truth. The first time you get your hands on it at home after it's released, are you wrestling as Adam Cole or Britt Baker?
I'll probably wrestle as myself first. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I keep giving you opportunities to say things that people are going to like, and you just won't do it. All right. Let's go. If you got time, I know you do, because I'm in my window, I think. Does it bother you, because I know you've been through so much, does it bother you to look at the top of this company right now? And I know the company's in great hands. You've got Collision coming out. You've got the video game coming out. You've sold every ticket under the sun to London and all that. But you look at the top of the company, and there's Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Does that bother you at all?
Yes and no.
Seems like it
Yes
does.
and no.
That's a yes.
No, it's a yes and no, because I think anyone who would say that someone like MJF isn't talented is just lying to themselves. The guy is an incredible interview. He's proven how good he is in the ring. The issue is the type of human being he is. Like everyone who knows him can't stand him.
What a prick.
Seriously, yeah. So as far as a guy to represent AEW, it's weird because he's such a bad human being, but he's so darn good that it's hard to argue. But I think at some point in the future, having somebody else take that spot from him would be an excellent idea.
Fair enough. Going through this pay-per-view card, like I said, I believe, and I think professional wrestling as a whole is in a phenomenal place right now for wrestling fans.
Excellent.
But AEW, I have never once paid money for an AEW pay-per-view and then been like, I shouldn't have done that. Not one time, and that is a remarkable hit rate because I hate spending money on anything. My wife hasn't had a pair of shoes in 7 years, but I will pay for AEW pay-per-views, and it's always worth the money. This one right here, Double or Nothing, this Sunday in Las Vegas. It is Sunday, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Hold on, and this isn't a big deal. If you'll just, because you wrote Saturday. That's what you wrote right here. You wrote Saturday. You wrote Saturday on the damn thing! Okay? You wrote Saturday! It's Sunday night! Anyway, Adam, this Sunday, AEW Double or Nothing, you'll be competing in an unsanctioned match. Unsanctioned seems like a nice way to say just no rules at all, correct?
But yeah, and not only no rules, but there was no possible liability that AEW could face, or really that me or Jericho could face. We both signed off and agreed that literally anything goes in a match like this.
Looking further on the card, you've got some very talented wrestlers. Anarchy in the Arena will be a big match in this. This will be the Elite against the Blackpool Combat Club. I know you've crossed paths with a lot of those guys, wrestled a lot of those guys. That's a big time match. Obviously, the Four Pillars match is there with Darby Allin against Jungle Boy, against Sammy Guevara, against MJF. You go on. You got FTR against Jeff Jarrett and his partner. Thank you. I just forgot how to say words all of a sudden. Phenomenal matches up and down this card. When you guys as a company, because I know that locker room is tight, when you guys get together to put on one of these spectaculars, what does it feel like in that building?
The energy is electric for sure. As far as the atmosphere goes, I think a lot of the fans feel the same way that you do. When you know AEW is presenting a pay-per-view, you know you're going to get an unbelievable pro wrestling show. And of course, the talent, everyone's focused on wanting to just do the absolute best that they possibly can as well. So it's cool. Like the energy all weekend is just going to be off the chain.
Can I just show you right now just what I'm working with? I was given a prep sheet right here. I don't know if you can see that. See that? I was given a 2-page prep sheet. So there you go there. And that's the second sheet right there. And if you're wondering, I can't really see that. You know why? Because it's blank. It's blank. Anyway, how excited are you? I know you mentioned it a second ago. This will be one of the last questions. I said it and you agree with it. But professional wrestling as a whole looks like it's in such a great place. Every time you turn around, somebody's signing this big deal, or you got these ideas of these big deals. But AEW alone, and I know the WWE, we're coming off great WrestleMania, we're coming off all these great things. But AEW's got a new show coming out, Collision. They have a video game coming out. They have lit the world on fire by selling Wembley Stadium the way they have sold it. Where is professional wrestling right now, Adam Cole?
God, I think as far as my professional career, which has been a little over 15 years, I can't think of a time that it's been hotter or better, both for the fans and for the wrestlers. There are so many different places to work. Like you said, AEW is doing incredible things. WWE is doing incredible things. Like companies across the board, the independents, like everything has been really, really hot. So in my career, I can't think of a better time. It really has been great across the board.
Last time you were here, you told us a story. This is the second time we've had you. You told us a story of the weirdest place somebody came up and asked for an autograph was when you were in the bathroom pissing.
Yes, with headphones on.
With headphones on. They waited for you to piss, and then they asked for your autograph or your picture. Do you have a similarly weird story you can drop on me today? Is there anything that just comes to mind that has happened that rivals the pissing story?
I don't. God, let me think, because one has to exist.
I'm sure they do.
One has to exist. But generally speaking, like if someone comes up to me and asks for an autograph or a picture, I very rarely say no or say that I can't. Like depending on the circumstance of like, if I have a signing at the moment or if it's in the bathroom. But I'm trying to think of like a really. That one was the most strange. The bathroom one was. I was
backstage in an AEW show last year. I said, "Hey Adam, a quick picture," and you said, "Go to hell, hillbilly." And I was
I was just in a rush though. That's what I mean. Like it's normally it's
right.
Of course no problem. And I'll talk with you.
That was at 11 a.m. 8 hours before the show.
Oh no, but the prep for me to get ready for a show it takes quite a bit of time.
Last question, and I'll let you get out of here. When's Kyle O'Reilly? How's he doing? Because we saw him on all access with you, where you were going through it and he was going through it too. And we've seen you come back. We've seen Roddy. Like I just wonder how's it going for him. I can't talk to him, so I just figured I'd ask you.
He's doing good. He's in good spirits. He's on the right track. There's nothing that Kyle wants to do more than come back to work, especially now that Roddy's here and things like that. But again, he seriously is one of the toughest guys that I've ever met for sure. So everyone keep your fingers and toes crossed. Kyle's doing awesome. He's seeing great progress, and hopefully we'll see him again very soon.
All right, we'll keep our fingers and toes crossed.
Fingers and toes. You can't just do fingers. You gotta cross the toes.
I'll do all 10 fingers, all 11 toes. It'll be.
There
great.
We go.
All right. So AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday. So, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This Sunday on pay-per-view, going to be a great show. Adam Cole against Chris Jericho, unsanctioned match, and who knows what all's going to happen with that. It's going to be crazy. He's one of my favorite guys in wrestling. We've never actually met in person. We've only met on Zoom twice, but I look forward to the day we can finally meet and you can call me a hillbilly.
I feel like, well, first of all, I will never call you a hillbilly.
Yes, you
Second
will.
of all. Nope. Second of all.
Britt Baker called me a hillbilly.
Well, that's Britt Baker.
Okay.
We're a little bit different.
All right.
I love that girl to death, but we're a little bit different. So, hey, third time's the charm. The next time we meet or the next time we do an interview, maybe it'll be in person.
Well, I'm moving to Chicago soon, so I think you guys come through there a lot. So
there we go. Yes, we do.
Adam Cole, one of the best, AEW, one of the best companies, and this will be a tremendous show. AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday. Check it out. You will not regret it, and I look forward to Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, my friend.
That's wrestling.